What actually is a rideshare market? Hi, my name is Levi, and this is the tip you in the app Daily Drive. Today's Daily Drive is brought to you by Tonquin. With Tonquin, you're going to deliver car parts to auto part repair shops. Tonquin works just like any other gig app. Go to the Tonquin website, sign up, and become a driver today. The Daily Drive is also brought to you by Rideshare.tax. Man, taxes are due soon. Have you filed your taxes yet? Go to Rideshare.tax. If you use the coupon code Levi, that's Levi, you can actually get 10% off. And the Daily Drive is also brought to you by VOOM Rideshare Insurance. That's VOOM, VOOM Rideshare Insurance. Okay, so what actually is a market? A couple of days ago, I posted a video pushing back a little bit, challenging what Sergio said was he wasn't getting really good rides in his market. And those look like really good rides to me. And some of the pushback that I got in response to my video was this idea like, I don't know his market. How can I talk about his market? And that's kind of fair, right? I've never driven in LA. I've really only driven here in central New York, in Syracuse and all the other places around here. But I think sometimes market is a thing that we say to push back against ideas or other ways that we might be able to drive. More so, I think we look at market, we discuss market as in a place, a city, a state, or whatever it might be. And then we try to think like the people that we drive and that we service in that state or that city is vastly different than any other place. So a good example of people in Los Angeles are vastly different than the people in Syracuse. Maybe. I don't know. But the idea is like we want to create content. We want to connect and communicate and share ideas and hopefully help each other out. So market tends to be like this easy pushback when another idea is proposed to say that, well, that won't work in my market. So what I thought I'd do is just kind of like let's define a market. And a market to me is so much more than just a city, right? So yes, Los Angeles is a market and Syracuse is a market, but actually there's so much more. So here's an example. Syracuse during the middle of the day is a type of market. Syracuse late at night is a different type of market. So time is also part of market. So when I say I drive in Syracuse, that really lacks a lot of context because my market is Syracuse late at night, typically on a college campus. And when I say a college campus, you hear college students, which is the third part of a market. There's the place, there's the time, and then the type of people that we drive. So again, Sergio was driving in the middle of a Saturday in Los Angeles. That's a different market for sure than Syracuse University at 11 p.m. on a Friday night. They're different people, different cities, and everything's different. And that's a fair way to like say that his market isn't the same as my market. But quite frankly, that also means that people driving in the middle of the day in Syracuse on a Saturday are not my market either. So that's what a market to me means. A market is the city, the time we drive, and the people that we drive, because we can act and treat them differently. Now, I still want to give every customer, every passenger, an amazing amount of service. But the truth is, if you're giving business travelers in Seattle, right, a ride to the airport, that's probably, you're going to treat them a little bit different than college kids late at night on a college campus, right? College kids on Syracuse campus, I can play my music a little bit louder. It tends to be current pop music, Frank Ocean, Taylor Swift, Gorillaz, and I can play it a little bit louder. I have some lights in the car, and I'm trying to get a tip by enhancing the party bus type of atmosphere. If I was an Uber driver in Seattle taking business travelers to the airport, I'd probably have the music way down soft, maybe have some bottled water. I would want to have maybe some jazz playing, and really focus on letting them put their headphones in and maybe do work, right? I want to give them both great service, but their expectations of what service might be is just a little bit different. And so all this being said is a market is so much more than just a place, because I personally don't believe a business traveler in Seattle is that much different than a business traveler in Syracuse, nor is a college student that much different in Syracuse versus a college student in UCLA. They're probably very similar. So we can't just say that idea won't work in my market by just saying LA is different than Syracuse, because they are different, no doubt, but it's actually a little bit more context, right? It's the time of day when I'm driving, the people that I'm driving. And finally, the most important thing is our own expectations. At the end of the day, when I presented some numbers back to Sergio, I was like, hey, he was going to go pick up his daughter. And I said, hey, that $3 trip looks good to me. You were only working 6 minutes. And the pushback was, hey, well, that's not your market. But the real pushback actually came to, he didn't think those were good rides. He actually said something along the lines of, it costs more to buy a pack of gum. And that's true. It costs more to buy a pack of gum, no doubt about it. But the idea was, would he take the trip? And he used market, or I think other people use market as a defense, like that's a bad trip. But I would take that trip all day. And I don't think market was really the difference there. The idea was a ride was being offered for a price, a time, and a distance. And I would take the trip. Now, I might handle it different because I was in Los Angeles in the middle of on Saturday. I'm in a different market than Syracuse late at night, but market wasn't really the determining factor. Price, time, and miles were, and I think I could do it. So yeah, that's a long way to say market isn't necessarily just your city. What is your market? What makes your market special? Is your market vastly different? Not necessarily to me, but to people in your own location. So if you're driving in Orlando, is your market different than other people in Orlando by just, quite frankly, driving different times a day and prioritizing different types of trips? If you're in Orlando taking tourists around the town, it might be different than taking, again, focusing on long trips, I don't know, to the airport. I don't know. But that's why we probably choose the trips that we take, not necessarily because of the city that we're in, but because of the type of passengers that are in that city that we want to take. And a lot of times those type of passengers are in the same cities, right? In multiple cities. So I don't want to belabor it. Sergio, again, I love you. I don't think you're wrong. I'm just hoping to present different ideas and different ways of thinking about it. What's your market? Please connect. Let's talk in the comment section. Know that I'm cheering for you. Be well, be safe. Bye.